Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. Life has a way of teaching lessons without using a megaphone. Sometimes the loudest messages come wrapped in silence, and the deepest truths show up when words run out. Think about that. You ever catch yourself smiling at a memory nobody else knows about? Ever have a quiet moment and feel somebody's absence louder than any argument? That right there is your clue. It's a signal, not a coincidence. Now, I'm not talking about fairy tale love or destiny hand delivered on a silver platter. I'm talking about impact, real impact. The kind that doesn't need text, DMs, or late night apologies to prove it exists. When a person has planted something in your soul, it sits there like a chorus you can't stop humming, like a tune that keeps coming back, whether you want it to or not. You don't need validation for that. Your spirit already knows. Here's the thing: when somebody walks away, most people react the same way. Noise, posts passive-aggressive lines, grand gestures meant to sting. But what if the most devastating response wasn't a shout at all? What if it was the opposite, a quiet, unshakable rise? What if your comeback was your calm, your growth, your absolute refusal to be small? That kind of power is magnetic. It doesn't beg for attention. It commands it. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to turn that quiet knowing into your greatest strength. How to carry yourself so fully, so unapologetically, that regret becomes the echo of their choice. Not through drama, not through hashtags, but through the real work, the way you heal, the standards you keep, the life you build. When you live that way, their absence does what words never could. It becomes the proof of what they lost. Stay with me, because this is not about revenge. This is about reclaiming your dignity, your joy, and your future. And trust me, when you do it right, the silence speaks volumes. Show up for yourself. First thing every day when life knocks you down, when somebody walks away from you, when a man decides he doesn't see your value anymore, you've got two choices. Either you keep staring at that closed door, or you get up and build a new one. And the way you start building that new door, that new chapter, that new version of yourself, is by showing up for YOU. First thing every single day. Because let me tell you, how you start your day sets the tone for everything else. If you begin by pouring into everybody else's cup before you've poured into your own, you'll walk around empty, waiting on somebody else to fill you. But when you take those first moments of the morning to honor yourself, to center yourself, to remind yourself who you are, you carry power into every space you walk into. Now, here's the truth most people don't want to admit. When somebody leaves you, it messes with your mind. You start thinking, was I not enough? Did I do something wrong? Am I too much of this? Not enough of that. And before you know it, you're waking up in the morning with heaviness on your chest, scrolling through their social media, replaying conversations in your head, starting your day already defeated. That is not showing up for yourself. That is showing up for the memory of somebody who already made their choice. You owe yourself better than that. Showing up for yourself means that before you give your energy to anybody else, you claim it for you. It could be as small as 10 minutes, but it's a non-negotiable 10 minutes that belongs to your healing and your growth. Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Maybe it's walking outside with a cup of coffee, feeling the sun on your face, reminding yourself, I'm alive, I'm here, I've got purpose. That act, simple as it sounds, is you telling your spirit, you matter. Because here's the thing, when you make yourself the first priority of your own day, you stop living like you're waiting for somebody else to pick you. You start living like you've already been chosen. Chosen by you, chosen by God, chosen for the life you're building. Think about it like this: athletes don't wait until game day to start preparing. They've been practicing, stretching, fueling their bodies long before the whistle blows. Your life is the game, and the morning is your practice. If you don't show up for yourself early, you're stepping into the day unprepared, unguarded, vulnerable to whatever storm hits. But if you begin with intention, you're grounded. You've already set the standard for how you'll think, how you'll speak, how you'll carry yourself. That's what makes the difference between walking around heavy with regret and walking around light with confidence. I know some of you are thinking, but Steve, I'm busy. I've got kids, I've got work, I've got responsibilities. I get it. Life is full, but you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give your best to your children, your job, your family, if you don't give your best to yourself first. 10 minutes, that's all it takes. Wake up 10 minutes earlier and write down your goals. Do 10 push-ups. Speak 3 affirmations out loud. I am worthy, I am powerful, I'm not forgotten. Those aren't just words, those are seeds. And every day you repeat them, you water those seeds until one day you wake up and realize you've grown into the kind of woman who doesn't chase validation. She radiates it. Let me tell you something else. When you show up for yourself consistently, people notice. You don't have to post about it. You don't have to announce it. You don't even have to speak about it. They'll see it in your glow, in the way you walk into a room with your shoulders back, in the calm on your face that says, I know who I am. That's when regret creeps in. Not because you said anything, not because you try to prove a point, but because your transformation is undeniable. A man who thought you needed him to shine will see you shining brighter without him, and that realization burns deeper than any words you could ever speak. But here's the beautiful part. This isn't really about him. It's about you. You're not showing up for yourself to make him jealous or to make him call or to make him wish he stayed. You're showing up for yourself because you finally understand your value. And when you treat yourself like you matter, the world treats you the same way. Opportunities come, peace comes, love, real love comes. Not because you chased it, but because you became a magnet for it. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, before you check who texted, before you scroll and compare your life to anyone else's, stop, take a deep breath, say something kind to yourself. Write something down that reminds you of your worth. Stretch, pray, dance, read, whatever fills you. But do it first thing. Because when you show up for yourself at the start of the day, you're not waiting for life to happen to you. You're stepping forward saying, life, I'm ready, I came prepared. And that simple choice made daily will change everything. Build a new unapologetic life. Boundaries are your brand. Let me tell you something that might sting at first, but will set you free once it sinks in. The fastest way to lose yourself is by living for everybody else's approval. Too many people walk around apologizing for being who they are, softening their voice so others feel comfortable, bending their back so somebody else can stand taller, saying yes when their whole soul is screaming no. And do you know what happens when you live like that? People get used to it. They get comfortable with you being uncomfortable. They get addicted to your lack of boundaries. That's why if you want to make a man regret losing you, without a word, without a scene, you've got to build an unapologetic life. One where your boundaries are not just lines in the sand, but the brand of who you are. See, boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. Boundaries are gates to protect what's precious inside you. A woman without boundaries is like a house with the doors wide open, lights blazing, food on the table, and a sign that says, take what you want. And trust me, people will take. They'll take your energy, your time, your peace, your love, until you wake up empty, wondering why nobody poured back into you. But when you set boundaries, when you say, this house has rules, this life has standards, this heart has value, you don't push people away. You invite the right people to step up and respect you. Here's the truth. People don't remember what you say as much as they remember what you tolerate. If you keep letting people show up late and still entertain them, they'll think your time is worthless. If you keep letting people speak to you disrespectfully and still pick up their calls, they'll believe your dignity is negotiable. But the moment you enforce a boundary, calmly, clearly, unapologetically, you teach the world how to treat you. That is how you build an unapologetic life. Not by screaming, not by begging, but by holding steady. Now, I know setting boundaries can feel scary, especially if you're used to people pleasing. You think, if I say no, they'll be mad. If I stand up for myself, they'll leave. But here's the flip side. If they get angry because you respected yourself, if they walk away because you didn't let them use you, then they were never for you in the first place. Better to lose a man who only wanted the weaker version of you than to lose yourself trying to keep him. Boundaries reveal truth. They don't just protect you. They filter out the ones who don't deserve you. Let's be real for a second. A man who left you, he probably got used to you making yourself smaller for his comfort. He probably thought you'd always be there, always forgiving, always bending. But when you start building your own unapologetic life, when you start living in alignment with your values, when you start saying, no, that doesn't work for me, you flip the script. You're no longer the woman who waits around to be chosen. You become the woman who chooses who gets access. And let me tell you, nothing makes a man regret losing you faster than watching you move from, please love me, to, I know my worth, and only those who honor it get close. An unapologetic life also means you stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. If you don't want to go somewhere, don't write a whole essay about it. Just say, I won't make it. If you're focused on your healing, you don't owe anyone an explanation about why you're not entertaining drama. If you cut off someone toxic, you don't need to broadcast it. Your boundary is your explanation. Your peace is your proof. That kind of confidence is magnetic. People start to look at you differently because they see you respect yourself enough not to waste words defending your decisions. And here's the part that changes everything. When you build an unapologetic life, you stop attracting people who want to take advantage of you, and you start attracting people who value the strength it takes to protect your peace. Good men, strong friendships, new opportunities. They show up because your boundaries act like a filter. You're no longer begging for crumbs. You're sitting at a full table, inviting only those who bring respect with them. Now imagine this, the same man who thought you'd never say no, the same man who thought he could come and go in your life as he pleased, now sees you moving different. You don't argue, you don't chase, you simply enforce. You smile when it's real, you walk away when it's not. And suddenly he realizes, not because you told him, not because you posted about it, but because your life demonstrates it, that he lost access to a woman who finally knows her value. That realization is regret in its purest form. So build your own unapologetic life. Wear your boundaries proudly like your name. Let them be your brand, the unshakable message that says, I know who I am. I know what I deserve. And I will not apologize for protecting it. Because once you live like that, you don't have to make anybody regret losing you. Your life will do it for you. Glow up, don't get even. There's a moment after somebody walks out of your life where the temptation hits hard. You want to prove they were wrong. You want to post something slick, drop little hints online, maybe even throw shade so they know you're not hurting. That's what getting even looks like. But let me tell you something, revenge might taste sweet in the moment, but it always leaves you feeling empty afterward. Because when you make your whole mission about proving somebody else wrong, you're still giving them your power. You're still letting them control the narrative of your life. And the truth is, the loudest revenge is not revenge at all. It's a glow up so bright that you don't even have to say their name. A glow up is not just about makeup, new clothes, or hitting the gym. Sure, that's part of it, but the real glow up goes deeper. It's about leveling up every part of your life so that your happiness, your success, and your peace of mind shine without effort. A glow up says, I don't have to get back at you. I'm too busy building a life you'll wish you never let go of. That's why this step is so powerful. It's not about them at all. It's about reclaiming your story one action at a time. Let's start with the physical glow up. Not because looks are everything, but because when you feel good in your body, you carry yourself differently. You don't slump, you don't hide. You walk tall, and that energy speaks before you open your mouth. So maybe you decide to get serious about your health, not to make anyone jealous, but because your body deserves care. You start drinking more water, moving your body, eating food that fuels you instead of drags you down. After a few weeks, you notice the change. Your skin glows, your posture improves, your energy rises. And when people see you, they don't see heartbreak, they see transformation. Then there's the mental glow up. That's where you stop feeding your mind junk food. No more obsessing over his social media. No more replaying the breakup like it's your favorite sad song. Instead, you start feeding your mind with books, podcasts, and conversations that stretch you. You learn something new, maybe a language, maybe a skill, maybe a course that builds your career. The more knowledge you pack into yourself, the less space there is for bitterness. And that confidence that comes from being sharp, focused, and capable. That's a glow nobody can deny. Next is the emotional glow up. This is where you stop hiding behind toughness and actually allow yourself to heal. Healing doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strong enough to face the pain without letting it define you.